My argument is that we should try our very best to treat people without regard to race, both in our personal lives and our public policy.
Of course.
And the reason I wrote this book, thank you. The reason I wrote this book is because in the past 10 years, it has become very popular to, in the name of anti-racism, teach a kind of philosophy to our children and in general that says your race is everything, right? And I think that is the wrong way to fight racism, and that's why I wrote this book at this time.
And so many in the Black community, if I'm being honest with you, because I want to be, believe that you are being used as a pawn by the right and that you're a charlatan of sorts.
He's not a Republican.
So how do you...
He's never voted for a Republican.
You've said that you're a conservative.
No.
No, you did. You actually said that in the podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
Yes, you did. So, but my question to you is, how do you respond to those critics?
Okay, let's give him let him answer.
First thing I want to...
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, today we got Coleman Hughes, world-renowned author, blogger, writer, spokesman, who appeared on The View recently. We know how we feel about The View around these parts, but he went on The View promoting his new book, The End of Race Politics, which is aptly titled in this 2024 election year. And boy, did he face some heat, particularly from Sunny Hostin, who seems to have declared herself the blackest of the blackety blacks on this network television show, this ultra-liberal show, this show that promotes divisiveness amongst the American electorate. This show that promotes race-based politics. So, of course, her position would be antithetical to Mr. Hughes in this instance. And boy, did she challenge him. She came out firing and ended up making a fool out of herself by reinforcing his point. Y'all, his theory is simple, y'all. He's saying, if y'all have taken these polls, if y'all have taken census data, if y'all have analyzed black folks in comparison to white folks and black folks in comparison to Hispanics and black folks in comparison to Asians, then you have the data. We don't have to focus so much on race because we have the data based on what you've collected that says that black folks and brown folks are disproportionately represented in certain socioeconomic categories that allow us to focus on those categories or classes, as he puts it, such that we don't have to focus on race at all. It's a simple concept, y'all. We have collected the data that says if we look at the economically downtrodden and the poor, well, black folks are overrepresented in that class. So if you want to help black folks, you don't have to help black folks specifically to the exclusion of other races. You can just help the class of people where black folks are overly represented. Where? The poor. Where? Those lacking home ownership. Where? The unemployed. If you find that black folks are overly represented in these classes, you can simply help those classes. And because black and brown people are disproportionately represented there, they will be extraordinarily helped by your efforts to improve that class. But you see, the left don't want to go there, including Sunny Hostin, and we'll get to the video. But the reason the left doesn't support Coleman's arguments is because if you take race out of it and dedicate yourself to helping socioeconomic classes, well, that brings us together. You see, that unites us as a people. If I can keep the blackity blacks over here and the whitey whites over here, then we shoot at each other. We're at war with each other. We're fighting for resources based on race. But if we go by class, you'll find that some of the people over here are in the same position as some of the people over here. And that brings us together as a people, that unifies us. But these folks, these left wingers, These racist liberals want us divided. It is intentional, y'all. It's no accident. But Sunny proves herself to be the racist as she throws ad hominem attacks at this brother who is simply trying to say, I think there's a better way. Y'all check this video out.
When you say that socioeconomics picks out people in a better way than race, when you do look at the socioeconomics, you see the huge disparity between white households and black households. You see the huge disparity between white households and Hispanic households. So your argument, and I've read your book twice because I wanted to give it a chance, your argument that race has no place in that equation is really fundamentally flawed, in my opinion.
Well, there's two separate questions. One is whether each racial group is socioeconomically the same. That I agree with you. They're not.
Yeah, they're not, and the stats show that.
But yeah, of course, I agree with that fully. The question is, how do you address that in the way that actually targets poverty the best?
Great.
And what Martin Luther King wrote in his book, Why We Can't Wait, is he called it, we need a Bill of Rights for the disadvantaged. And he said, yes, we should address racial inequality. Yes, we should address the legacy of slavery. But the way to do that is on the basis of class. And that will disproportionately target blacks and Hispanics because they're disproportionately poor, but it will be doing so in a way that also helps the white poor, in a way that addresses poverty as the thing to be addressed.
That part.
Many in the black community believe that Asuncion, never met a black woman named Asuncion. I wonder where she falls down in the color Olympics. Wonder where she falls down with these I'm trying to be a black woman perspectives and trying to represent black folks as the boule. Well, Sonny, your daddy may have been black, but it don't seem like you connected with that side of the family. Asuncion, Miss Woman of Privilege, Miss My husband is a surgeon in New York City. Miss Woman of Means with a multi-million-dollar contract with ABC. Miss, let me get out here as the black boule, the bourgeoisie class, and speak for the poor. You ain't got no connection to the poor. Sonny, if I may call you that. Sonny is out here caping for the left, y'all, and attacking this black man who is trying to portray a message through his writings and his speaking engagements. He's trying to put it out there, y'all. There's a better way than what the left is feeding us. Sonny is attacking this man and trying to challenge him on The View, this den of witches, trying to challenge his ideas from a boule perspective. Sonny ends up supporting this man's theory unbeknownst to her. And it's sad because she's an attorney. She should know better than to argue against herself, but she's been on this stage and not in the stage of courtroom. So let's give her some slack. She may not be used to arguing at this point. She may have lost a step or two. Now, anyone who's followed Coleman Hughes know that he's not a right-winger. So you might ask, why is Sonny attacking him in this way? Well, this attack by Sonny proves that it's not about color at all. She tries to argue in a way that makes it appear to be about color, but it's not about color. She's looking at this dark-skinned, melanated man and saying, I am going to attack you. Although you darker than me, matters not. I'm going to attack you, dark-skinned man, melanated man, because of your ideas. Because they go against the left-wing narrative that I am paid and sponsored to support here. Yeah, only we can have the right opinions as the boule, as the bourgeoisie. Because black folks ain't in a position to speak for themselves. They can't advocate for themselves. They need us, the bougie, to speak for them. And when you come against that left-wing narrative, it don't matter what your skin color is. Well, she just defeated her own narrative. I thought it was about the blackity blacks against the whitey whites. Asuncion. This black man is saying we should be colorblind. in our politics, in our policies. Because if we look at different metrics, we can help those we desire to help without excluding other people from receiving that same help. Sunny shot herself in the foot by attacking this man. I don't think she even sees what happened here. But this dude took her ad hominem attacks on the chin and shot right back at her on a politically correct level. You love to see it.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Asuncion attacks his argument by saying that it is fundamentally flawed. Whoa, that's a shot, lady. She says his argument is fundamentally flawed because you have these people who have been declared to be disproportionately represented in a class. Well, we want to help them, so we should focus on their race. Well, wait a minute. If you're saying that they're disproportionately represented in the class, all we got to do is help the class, and they will be disproportionately benefited from said help.
Blindness, I think, is something that the right has co-opted. And so many in the Black community, if I'm being honest with you, because I want to be, believe that you are being used as a pawn by the right and that you're a charlatan of sorts.
He's not a Republican.
So how do you...
He's
who am I
never
being
voted
used
for a
as?
Republican.
You said that you're a conservative.
No.
No, you did. You actually said that in a podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
not.
Yes,
He's not.
yes, you did. So
kind of vitriol. We'll get back to that portion of the exchange in just a minute. But first, I do think it's actually important to understand Coleman as a person and the argument he's trying to make. In the interest of full disclosure, though, I do have to admit that I'm a fan of Coleman's, even though he and I have some disagreements. He's more supportive of Israel's war on Gaza, as an example. On some issues, he definitely leans to the right of me. But I actually find him to be thoughtful. He makes thought-provoking arguments in good faith. And I don't know about you, but I've been increasingly bored with shows that have default ideological talking points that hosts never deviate from. It's a mindless snooze fest. Sometimes Coleman's analysis on certain current events challenge my own, and I find that to be a good thing. We should all be willing to challenge and reevaluate our own beliefs without assuming the one challenging us is some grifter or right-wing pawn.
Now, y'all, these same left-wingers who hold up MLK Jr. on a pedestal every year. They quote him incessantly every February in Black History Month. They try to pump that "I have a dream" speech to the neglect of some other spicy speeches he had. They want us to focus on the niceties, but the brother came to realize later on in life that he may have been advocating for some things that didn't make as much sense as he thought they did. And you got people like Sunny in the Boule class who want to throw MLK out there, but he said that he would that we be judged by our character, not the color of our skin. That is diametrically opposed to what Sunny is advocating here. She's advocating for discrimination based on skin color. That ain't what MLK said. We heard the speech.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Y'all, who nominated Asuncion to be the spokesperson for the Black community? I know I didn't. The Black delegation, I'm sure, would not put Asuncion as the spokesperson for the community. I don't think that would happen, but she has knighted herself as the boule bourgeois blackety black, who's only half Black herself. She's nominated herself on this platform to speak on behalf of the community. Y'all, she foul. She out of bounds. And she's not a part of the community, because if we do as this young brother is advocating for, to separate by rich and poor, by class, Sunny ain't gonna be on the class of the poor. She has a multi-million-dollar contract with ABC. She has an orthopedic surgeon in Manhattan as a husband. She has boasted about her son being a student of an Ivy League college that y'all can't even afford. She paying to put her son through a school that costs more than your annual salary, most of y'all. And here she has knighted herself as the spokesperson for y'all? Nah, that is unacceptable. Lady, get in your place. I read a book by Jason Riley entitled, Please Stop Helping Us. And that title comes to mind in this display by Sunny on The View because she ain't helping us by this advocacy. Seems like she's working for the boule class. Seems like she's working for the rich class. Seems like she's working for the Democrats. And this man here has stated that he's not a right-winger. He's not MAGA. He just has his own set of views. He's an independent, much like myself. But when you get off the plantation and start thinking for yourself, they send these left-wing Democrat apparatchiks like Sunny Hostin out on the attack. Shout out to him for being brave enough to go into that den of witches and sit amongst them for the sake of promoting his book. He got a 4.5 rating on Goodreads, 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to check out the book myself. I suggest you do the same, because it sounds like the brother is talking right, even in the face of these demonic women on The View. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts. Appreciate your support on this channel. And don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time. Peace.